Hello everyone, it's Darby of RiverBendSurvival again. Today we're going to get to the second part of this series on basic bushcrafting skills and sets and such. Today we're going to talk about fire kit. As I explained in the video, I'm going to use just a plain old Altoids 10 fire kit. Today I'm going to get this kit ready for use. Where I'm at today, not allowed to have open flames, open fire, so I had to bring out my fireball kit to use it. Try not to break any laws. If you do, if you start a fire where you're not supposed to have open fires, the odds are nothing's going to happen, but all it takes is one time, and then it ruins it for everybody else, not to mention what the damage the fire does. So if they say don't have an open fire, don't have an open fire. Let's talk about this kit. As I went over in the first video, there's a couple things I'm going to have in it. I'm going to have a Bic lighter. I'm going to have a package with some matches. And there's two birthday candles, little birthday candles left in there. And I'm always going to keep a couple of my little fire starters that I make. The point of this video today, though, is to talk about the Char Cloth. As I stated in the first video, I love denim. It just makes phenomenally good char cloth once it catches. I also like to use some of the thinner stuff. This is just old stuff that's left around from cotton clothing in our house that we're going to get rid of or throw away. So all you do is you load up your char tin. In this case it'll be the Altoids 10. Try not to do a whole ton at one time. It just doesn't seem to work out well. All you do is you just put a couple of pieces in there like this. Once they're in there, close the lid. Make sure that you have a hole in the top of it. I don't know that it matters. It's the way I learned how to do it. I think there's enough air that leaks out around it, but there is a neat trick that comes up later. And then just put it on top of your fire. Let's talk about the point of the fire kit. It does not do you any good to head out into the woods and you have your fire kit and you do not have your char cloth already made. If you need the char cloth, it's too late to make it. The point of char cloth is to have it for when you need it. So, let me give you an example. I go out, I'm going to start a fire. I need char cloth for this particular type of fire I'm going to start. The lighter's dead, the matches are used up, and I'm down to char cloth to throw in a spark. That's fine. The char cloth gives you a huge advantage if you already have it. So before you head out the first time, you need to make sure to have your first batch of char cloth already made. You can have some extra little cotton strips and stuff to put in there to make more later. And that's what I'm going to talk about now. The best time to make char cloth, besides when you first get your kit set up, is any time you use it. If you have to use char cloth to make a fire, then while that fire is going, throw some more cotton in your tin and make your next batch of char cloth. I don't care if you got 2 or 3 pieces left. Now, if this camera over here is picking it up, you will see this little flame coming out right here at the knife tip. That is the excess gas burning off of the material inside. That is exactly what you want to see. That means the cloth inside has heated up to the point where it is giving off gas, which is what fire is. The gas is escaping through that hole. It's catching on fire and burning off on top, which is going to leave us the char below. Now, a lot of times you can tell when your char cloth is done or real close to it when that flame goes out. Sometimes you won't have that flame. It won't do it on its own like this one did. What you do in that case is after it gets going good and it's heated up, take a little stick, hold it over that hole, and it will usually poof right up into fire. My shelter is set up right now. It's set up for the weather we're having right now. It's real light showers coming through every once in a while. It's about 97 degrees and probably at least 85–90% humidity. That's, you see the rag out here. It's because I keep wiping the sweat off. It's soaking hot out here. The point of this video is not the shelter setup I use. But I did bring out the kit today to try out some different pieces of it and start working on my skills using this kit. Just because I put the kit together doesn't mean that I am the master of everything in the kit. And when I say that, understand, I can take just about anybody's kit that has a halfway decent kit and use it. Doesn't mean I'm going to use it as good as they do. It doesn't mean that I'm going to use it to its full potential. There's dozens of ways just to set up this tarp alone, and I'll do some videos on that, just different ways to set it up. The sleeping, the space blanket type deal that I use down here to sleep on, or in if it was cold enough. It's not going to be cold enough down here to sleep in anything again for the next 6 or 7 months. But it does give a good double layer to lay on. And if the bugs get bad, I can flip it over to try to keep down the bugs. But I'm bringing this kit out now. And just being blunt with you, I'm having a riot with this minimalistic, super small, super cheap kit. Some of the things that I always took for granted before that were so easy to do, with this new little kit, you got to think about it sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work out the way that I'm used to it working out. I'm having a blast with it. It only takes a couple of minutes for the char to be ready, and pretty much once that flame goes out, you're done. I'm letting it go right now just because I'm talking on the video. It's not going to hurt it to let it go longer. Don't melt your pot. Now, while we're speaking about making char cloth, in this kit that I'm using, I showed that I have a pan. It's a little stainless steel pan with a lid. You can make the char cloth in that the exact same way as this. Don't poke a hole in your lid. There's plenty of air comes out around it. I showed that I use this water bottle in this kit. If this is dry, emptied out and dried, you can make your char cloth in here. Just put something other than the plastic top on it. You can put a rock or a piece of aluminum foil, or it doesn't really matter what you put on top. So, back to the fire kit now. Once you have your kit set up the way you want it, and you have your kit made, then it's time to start going out and experimenting with it. Now, I've had some people message me and ask me about the birthday candles. The birthday candles are free. They're in a junk drawer in the kitchen, which I'm sure just about everybody has. The point of a fire kit is to get an open flame. Everybody needs to stick with me on this. Getting an ember is great. Getting an ember is important. Getting an ember is only a step to getting an open flame. Smoldering wood is not going to boil your water. Smoldering wood is not going to make char cloth. Smoldering wood is not going to cook your food very well. Don't write me about smoking briskets. That's a whole different thing. Everybody knows it. But what we want is an open flame. So, as we'll get into it with the char cloth later on the actual fire making videos, the char cloth is just a tool to get something else to burn. If the wood is really wet, and I say really wet, if it's damp wood, sitting there with your lighter trying to heat it up for 2 or 3 minutes to get an end started is not a good use of the fuel in the lighter. So if you have a little birthday candle, you stick it down in the dirt, light the top of it, and put your wood over the top. Let the candle do the work for you while you're taking care of other tasks, preparing more wood, doing different things with it. Matches are matches. You can strike anywhere matches. You can get any kind of match you want. You can make your own, and they work great. For this kit, I just went with plain matches, and now that I'm actually looking inside the kit, there's one more little thing in here. Looks like I have about 5 or 10 of them. And this is something I used to do a long time ago, and I'm telling you, I forgot all about it. I just grabbed this bag that already had this stuff in it. This is a toothpick that the ends have been snipped off of. I used to carry these all the time to use in tinder when making a fire. You make a little tinder bundle, you blow it into flame, and you have this in there. This thing catches almost instantly, and it's an open flame that burns for, you know, it's not going to burn for 10 minutes or anything, but it's an open flame that helps get that tinder bundle going better. Anyway, enough about the stuff that's in there. I think we're probably done right here. And there's your char cloth. Nothing in the world wrong with that. That is good char cloth. And you can see there's the fin, and I can actually see daylight through it. And there's the denim. That, once you get that to catch a spark, oh my goodness, that will burn 10 times longer, 10 times hotter than this thin cotton. I would tell you right now that I would almost use denim all the time, but there are times that it is hard to get denim to catch a spark. If you were using flint and steel, sometimes it's really difficult to get a spark into it. If you're using a rod, it catches just as quick as the thin cotton does. Anyway, once this cools down, what I'll actually do is I'll take this thing and I'll rub it around the grass to get any of that paint that's left on there rubbed off. The stuff that just flaked up when burning for the first time. I'll put my kit back together. I'll put the Ranger band that I made out of the piece of inner tube back on it. Make sure that the Ranger band, when you put it back on your tin, goes over the hole that you put in the lid. This does a couple of things. It keeps it closed. It keeps anything out of that hole, like water, from going into that hole. And this is also a very handy item for fire starting. We'll get to that in one of the fire starting videos. Anyway, the point of this video was getting your fire kit ready, or as I teach it, getting your fire kit primed. You want your fire kit primed for success for starting a fire. So, I have my Sure open flame with the lighter. I have my Pretty Sure open flame with the matches. I have fire extender with the toothpicks that are in there and with the birthday candles that are in there. And I have my original, my fire starters that I use, the cotton wafers that are wax coated. Nobody is ever guaranteed to get a fire started. That's just a fact of life. Nobody is ever guaranteed to get a fire started. Having said that, if you have your kit primed and ready to go, and you have the skill sets that go with that kit, you're just about as close to being guaranteed as you can be. And it's better to be prepared for it and get a fire started than to get out there and try to figure out what you're doing wrong. Until the next video, get out in the dirt, have some fun, and now let's start a fire. See ya.